Start in a cross-legged seated position, spine stacked directly over hips, hands on knees, palms facing up. Take 3 deep cleansing breaths in and out throughout the nose. When you're ready, inhale, arms reach overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center. Press the hands in a little bit so you can feel your heartbeat. And this is where you can set an intention for your practice, maybe a word or phrase that you need today. Sit with that intention, repeat it in the mind a few times. Clear the mind of any thoughts that you may have carried into your practice with you. Open the hands, reach above, bring the right hand down and reach up and over, creating length in the spine. Make sure both hips are pressed down into the mat. Breathe space and length in between the rib cage and the side body. Roll over the knees and come into tabletop position. The hands will be directly under shoulders, knees directly under hips, hip width apart. Exhale, press everything up towards the ceiling. Inhale, melt the chest and stomach down towards the mat. When you inhale, open the chest a little bit, peeling the mat back with the hands. Toes will stay tucked underneath. When you press everything up towards the ceiling on an exhale, really tuck the tailbone down and under. Bring the hips back onto the heels and come forward for child's pose, keeping the toes tucked underneath for a good stretch underneath the foot. Press down into the hands, drawing the armpits towards the mat for a good active child's pose. Walk the hands back towards the knees. Press into the hands, curling the upper back. Sit up nice and tall, interlace the fingers behind the head, and open the chest, little mini back bend here. Bring the hands back to table. Right arm will lift shoulder height. Left leg will extend, pressing out through the bottom of the heel. Take a few breaths here, and if it's available to you, wrap your hand around, grabbing the inside arch of the foot, pressing the hand into the foot for a kneeling dancer's pose. Bring it over to the other side, nice and slow. Option to just stay here, or if it's available to you, reach around, grab the inside arch of the foot, pressing the foot into the hand for that really good stretch. Come back to your neutral table, untuck the toes, and sit back for child's pose. Option to bring the hands to prayer overhead for an extra stretch in the triceps. Really connect with the breath here. Feeling the inhale expand on the thighs and the exhale melt you into your mat just a little bit more. When you're ready to come out, press down through your hands, ripple up through the spine, and lower all the way down, nice and slow. Elbows back and glued to the side of the body. Untuck the toes. Point the most with your big toes. Spider your fingers out to the side. Inhale, peel the chest off the ground using your back body strength. Inhale, look over the right. Come back down. Inhale, look over the left. Walk the hands back under the shoulders. Roll the toes underneath. Engage the legs and get ready to press up through chaturanga. Hips up and back for downward facing dog. Step the toes up a few inches to clarify your foundation. Always option to press back into low plank or table and then up into your downward facing dog, which is an upside down letter V. Inviting the heels to come towards the mat, pressing through all the fingers, Step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, hands to shin, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Fingers in line with toes, soft bend in knees. Inhale, come to stand, palms touch overhead. Exhale through heart center and release into Tadasana, mountain pose. Reconnect with your breath here. Inhale, arms reach, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Soft bend in knees, fingers in line with toes. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, hands come to the mat, step or hop back for plank. Slowly lower all the way down. Option to come down to your knees first. Untuck the toes. Press the tops of the feet down into the mat. Inhale, head and chest come up for cobra. Tuck the toes underneath, engage the legs. Press up and back for downward facing dog. Notice how this downward dog already feels different. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand. Palms touch overhead for Tadasana, mountain pose. Slowly bring the right leg up with the leg bent. See if you can use your core strength to step back to the back of the mat. But however you get there is totally fine. Just do your best, let that be enough. Press out through both legs evenly. Make sure you can still see your front toes. Bring your hands to prayer and go for a mini back bend, lengthening the spine and then back bending. Turn your back foot, so it is parallel to the short edge of the mat, pressing the most through the outer edge of the foot. Bring arms up to shoulder height for warrior. Inhale, find length, and come forward for side angle. Back to warrior 2. Exhale, revolve your warrior, breathing space and length in between the rib cage. Acknowledge the pose, windmill the hands down to the mat, step back for plank. Hips come up and back for downward facing dog. Have a few breaths here. Gaze is up towards the belly button. Fingers pointing forward. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand, mountain Tadasana. Let's bring it to the other side. Find something that doesn't move and focus on it, a drishti point. Step back into your high lunge. Arms are strong. Pressing out through both feet equally. Hands at heart center. Inhale a bit of length and come back for a mini back bend. Hips should stay centered. Inhale back to center. Turn your back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Setting up for warrior 2 on the other side. Come down for side angle, looking up towards your hand if it's okay for your neck. Inhale back to center. Exhale, revolve your warrior. Inhaling length and space between the side body. Windmill the hands down, step back for plank. Press out through the bottom of the heels and push the mat away with the hands. Roll over to the knife edge of the right foot, stacking the feet. Option to come down on your knee or come into tree pose variation if you need an extra challenge today. Come back to regular plank, have a breath, and then we'll get ready to set up for the other side, rolling over to the knife edge of the left foot. Stacking the arms to make the letter T, pressing the hips away from the mat. Option to lower to your left knee if needed for a modification. Next, we'll take 3 chaturanga push-ups, keeping the elbows nice and tight to the side body. Core will be nice and straight, nice long line from the crown of the head all the way down to the heels. Hips up and back for downward facing dog. Take a moment here to reconnect with your breath and your body, and maybe the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Let's lower the hips down and come into a passive child's pose. Forehead to mat, hands reached out in front. Feeling the inhale expand on the thighs and the exhale melt you into your mat. Come up into table, curl the toes under and come into downward facing dog. Exhale, bring the right leg up, knee to right tricep. Exhale, back, 3-legged downward dog. Inhale, knee to right tricep. Exhale, press back, 3-legged downward dog. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, 3-legged downward dog. Step the right leg all the way up behind the right arm. Turn the back foot on a 45-degree angle and come up for warrior 1. Arms are strong. You're pressing out equally through both legs. If it's available to you, clasp the hands behind the back and lean forward. Do not collapse your weight. Use your core strength to keep you up. Option to just grab opposite elbows if needed. Come up nice and tall. Acknowledge the pose. Hands will come down, step back for plank, immediately into downward facing dog. Exhale, left leg comes up. Knee to left tricep. Knee to right tricep. 3-legged downward dog. Knee to nose. Exhale, 3-legged downward dog, making sure you're not tipping to one side. Bring the foot all the way to the top. Turn the back foot on a 45-degree angle. Press out through both feet. Foundation is strong, core is strong. Clasp the hands behind the back or reach for opposite elbows. Come forward, bringing the arms up to get a good stretch. Do not collapse your weight. Use your core strength. Back to warrior 1. Frame the front foot, step back for plank. Lower all the way down, untuck the toes, inhale for cobra. Roll the toes underneath, press the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Step up a few inches to clarify your foundation. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come to stand for mountain Tadasana pose. Come the long way on your mat. Have a nice wide stance. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, fold from the hips, hinge from the hips into a wide leg forward fold. Exhale and allow gravity to pull down. Inhale, halfway lift with a wide leg stance. Exhale, forward fold. Slowly rise up. Bring the toes out. Exhale down to goddess pose. Using the glutes, keeping the core tight. Arms are strong and engaged. Exhale one more time. Bring the hands down to the knees. Forward fold. Rock your upper body from side to side, getting a good stretch in the shoulders. Connecting your breath with your movement. Doing your best and letting that be enough. Stand up nice and tall. And then however you can, just step back to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Grab opposite elbows and come into ragdoll. bending the knees a little bit more and letting the stomach rest on your thighs. Option to stay still or rock side to side, whatever your body craves right now. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step back for plank, lower the knees. Come all the way down. Untuck the toes. Press the pubic bones down into the ground. Bring the right arm out at shoulder height. This is intense shoulder stretch. Move very slowly. Option to bring the one leg up and behind. Have a few breaths here. Come back to center. Extend the left arm straight out from the shoulder and slowly roll back for intense shoulder stretch. Breathe into any area of tightness or tension, but remember to always stay within a pain-free range. There's a difference between pain and discomfort. Press up and back into child's pose. Reconnecting with the breath and your intention that you set at the beginning of practice. When you're ready, we'll find ourselves in a seated position, balancing on the sits bones, keeping a flat back. You'll bring your legs up to a modified boat. Open out to the right, back to center. Exhale, open out to the right, inhale, back to center. We'll do this 3 times on each side, coordinating your breath with your movement, keeping the core nice and tight with a fluid motion. When you're ready, slowly find yourself in a laying position. Bring your knees bent and press through the feet until you feel your lower back glue to the mat. Bring arms alongside the body. Knees will be directly over hips. Hands alongside the ears. 90-degree bend in both legs. Very slowly, keeping the 90 in your leg. Intend for your opposite elbow to reach your opposite knee. Move slower than you want to go here. Exhaling on the way down, inhaling on the way up. Move slower than you want to go, feeling every single core muscle work here. We'll do 3 on each side, connecting our breath with our movements, making sure the lower back is pressed into the ground. Next, bring your arms out to make the letter T. Press the arms down into the mat, making sure the shoulder blades are in connection with the mat at all times. Knees will come down towards the right, and then you can finish this supine spinal twist by looking over the left arm with your right eye. Allow your breath to soften your body into the ground in this spinal twist. When you're ready to come out, press down through both arms and inhale the legs back to center and then all the way over to the other side. You can lift your shoulder blade up and over. This will help glue both shoulder blades down into the ground. Follow the breath in through the mouth all the way down to the toes and back up. Slowing your breathing, allowing your body to melt into the mat. Inhale back to center. Cross the right leg over the left. You can either grab your shins or the outside edges of the feet. Make sure the neck is relaxed and in contact with the mat. This is reclined cow face position. Drawing the knees towards the chest. Uncross and recross the other way. Again, making sure the neck is in contact with the mat. If it's not, simply try grabbing a little bit up your leg, like a shin or a knee. When you're ready, draw little circles with your knees to massage your sacral bones into the mat. Do 3 circles one way and 3 circles the other, moving slower than you want to go. Setting up for Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. The bottoms of the feet will come to touch. Let your knees splay out to the side. Arms will cactus out at the side. If this is too much for your hips, you can always have your feet mat distance apart and let your knees fall in for constructive rest pose. Allow the weight of the legs to open up the hips. We'll stay here for a few breaths, allowing ourselves to soften. When you're ready, press the knees together, extend them out, mat distance apart, palms facing up for our final resting pose, Shavasana. Stay here for 3 to 5 minutes, allowing your body to absorb everything you did. Namaste.